All right, so next then we're looking at is Nadine. Um, for me, it's pretty easy pick. I'm gonna go ahead and just drop her right into S. Um, she kind of has a little bit of everything that you want in Volk. Um, and then I know Laura, you and I were talking off camera about it. Did you want to kind of jump in first and talk about her?
Yeah, sure. So, Nadine's damage is actually really solid. It's really high.
Hmm.
Uh, and she does burn, which is not that good, but considering her like amazing damage, it's not a bad thing. It's not that bad because she's not draining the damage from the team that much. She has a nice buff, a self buff, if I remember correctly, on her S2.
Hmm.
And the thing is about her S1, it's it's huge. It's huge. So in Volk, she can kill the wolves while still hitting Volk at the same time, which is nice. It makes Lowen's job a lot easier. And yeah, like she has solid damage. She can kill the wolves really quickly. She has nice burst because of her S2. Um, she can energize herself, which is nice, I guess. But with the energized strength, it gets a little better. Again, on the because of the burst damage.
Hmm.
And every time she has the burn strength, user strength co-op, which is 13%. That's nice. Uh,
Yeah, that's actually unique. I
yeah,
believe she's the only unit to have a burn equals user, uh, sorry, burn equals user strength, not
at
res,
five
of
star,
course. But
yes.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
man,
yeah.
we're forgetting about Valentine's Orion.
At least as a
But
five, yeah.
it's
Yeah,
yeah.
as a 5 star, she's the only one.
Right. So.
Uh, so yeah, she's really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I she just makes things more convenient, which I
Absolutely.
value highly. She does a lot of damage. She has nice burst, and her combos are similar to the regular lanes,
Hmm.
but it's a lot bigger. So yeah, just has a lot of range. She's almost a range character,
Right.
to
Right.
be honest. But
I mean, you could say that about just about any lance. They
yeah,
have
Yeah.
the
but
Lances have
biggest
that.
she's
range
even more
of
like
melee.
her range is even bigger than
That's
regular
true. She
lance.
does have
If you-
the unique right attack animations being the camera clicking,
Yeah.
as well as a force strike is unique as well. It's like a cone range.
So yeah, she has even more range than the regular lance and good damage. She's uh kills wolves easily. Has
Hmm. Hmm.
really good burst. Nice. It's just that she's kind of selfish aside from killing the wolves. But I would say she's really good. She's better than Yuden, in my opinion. Maybe maybe not. Maybe on A plus, top of A plus, but um, because I think Yuden is like he can clear really easily,
Hmm. Hmm.
but because he competes with Marth, I think that undervalues him a little bit. But Nadine doesn't have a lot of competition in lances. Um, I say she's S, maybe top of A plus, but yeah, she just makes the things more convenient. Not even easier, just convenient.
Right. Right. Yeah. The big thing, right, is how much energy uh, she has, or synergy with energy. It's in her ability one, the extra energy that's given off of any time she's getting energy. So the besties print, if you are running that, realistically, she's probably running Primal Crisis with the burn oversaturation in Master Volk.
Oh,
But if she is running Cerise, Gala Cerise, that 20 hit combo is going to end up being 2 stacks for her. Most of the time, 80% of the time. is what the passive states. And then of course, her gaining energy through her own skill. I believe it's through her skill 1. She also will gain energy stacks.
Yeah, she can get energy pretty fast. It's just self energy though, I think.
Right. Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's very selfish with her energy gain, but it's much more efficient than what it was previously with other units. So. Yeah. And then of course her snappy selfie being a ranged dispel is the first dispel we have that has quite a large range with a burn as well tied to it. So it's a 7 cost skill, but it's actually the lowest SP cost of our dispels for shared skills.
True.
So it does have its merit there.
No, it's not the lowest because there's Naveed.
Well, Naveed is 9k SP.
Oh, for shared. Yeah.
Yeah,
My
and
bad.
then Nadine's is 7.5. So
Yeah,
looking at SP cost alone, right? Obviously, Nadine's is the highest skill cost, but the lowest SP cost.
Yeah.
So yeah, 7 being the skill cost, right, and then the SP cost being 7.5. Substantially lower than Ranzel's. Obviously, Ranzel's has the highest damage of the 3. Yeah, there's good value. I mean, obviously you can run them both together if you chose to do so, but sometimes having a ranged dispel is important for those ranged characters we were talking about. Having lower defenses. Not having to get in range to use Ranzel's skill may have its value down the line. So, of course, clearing out the wolves I see more so than anything would be valuable with Nadine. You'd kill 2 birds with 1 stone in getting rid of his strength buff and killing all the wolves with her shots. So, yeah. Lace, did we miss anything on the skill, you think?
I'm gonna be honest. I know almost nothing about Nadine.
Okay, no, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. I think we covered everything then.
She does energy pretty well.
Yeah, yes, she does, and she's got the unique camera. So.
Yeah.
All right, so looks like we're looking at the Monster Hunter collab Berserker as the next unit. He's okay. It's gonna be off meta for me in terms of my pick. I think he's actually the only unit that prefers Dread King Rathalos over Mars on the list. Which makes sense. I mean, he's all 4-strike. He's all 4-strike. And he has sleep res, so at least he has that going for him in terms of tying up with Mars.
Looking at the sim, it looks like Chelsea also prefers Dread King.
That's true. That's true, right? Because she's doing the 4-strike bow setup where she basically is not standard attacking at all. She's only using 4 strikes and rolls.
Yeah,
which is pretty much the same as what Berserker would be doing, kit-wise at least.
Fun story with Chelsea and Berserker. Berserker's Chainco ability, flame damage taken equals 4-strike damage. Because Chelsea's standard attacks, or any attacks, deal damage to her when Obsession is active, a 4-strike deals damage to herself. And with Hunter Berserker as a backliner, powers up her next 4-strike.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that part's pretty exciting. Now, the cool thing about that, too, is, I mean, technically speaking, you could stack that with Grace for the 40% 4-strike bonus. I don't know if that would be better than, obviously, having, like, a Blade Coab and Wand. I guess it's worth mentioning or worth trying to note to see how that'll look. Yeah, I mean, Berserker's kit is just solid. I mean, it's damage, right? It doesn't rely on burn. He's got a defense down on his Moonbreaker. I actually bought Moonbreaker as a shared skill. It's 100% defense down. Like, I'm sorry. It's 100% chance to do 5% defense down for 10 seconds. So, that being said, it actually has a 4 cost, so you can pair it with Sha Wuxing's defense down. And then you can actually get 20% defense down between those 2 skills. So,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. It's not bad.
Like 5% defense down doesn't seem like a lot. It's good. And like I feel like 5% for 10 seconds is kind of like the average for a defense debuff. Like anything larger than that's better. Like you have like the large end of the spectrum, like Delphi, who has a really high uptime on like 20% defense down, which is huge. But
Right.
like that's because he's a support unit and he's doing like his own thing like that. With Hunter Berserker, you have just a small defense down for 10 seconds, but that ties into the rest of his kit where he has reduced defense devastator, so he has 20% increased crit rate against enemies with reduced defense.
Yeah, the 20% crit definitely helps him out, especially in the fact that you know, if those 4 strikes crit, I mean, you're gonna be seeing a lot of bonus damage. And his ability Greatsword Expertise actually gives him 20% break Punisher for his 4 strike.
Mm-hmm.
So that much is also pretty nice.
So one important thing to note when building his kit is that his first ability, Greatsword Expertise, increases his 4 strike damage by 30%. And one of the things I was thinking is, if they're giving him a unique 4 strike, why not just make that inherent into the 4 strike, like make it part of its inherent mods, and not give him like 4 strike damage plus 30%? Well, all 4 strike damage is additive. So that 30% is the base. So any like 4 strike co-abilities or Worm Prince is going to be additive with that 30%. So it gives a bit of like reduced effect on those. Not a lot, but some.
Interesting. That's a good point. Because then wouldn't that also give reduced effectiveness to stacking 4 strikes? Well, I guess it wouldn't matter too much. I'm sure Grace would still be his preferred backline.
Well, yeah. So basically, if we look at his 4 strike, so the damage it deals, if it just dealt that damage without the 30%, then Grace's co-ability would increase it by 20%. However, the damage it deals has already a 30% in that. So it's going to be like 30% becomes 50%. So you have the base plus the 30 plus the 20. And it's additive. So I don't know. It works out with the math.
Right.
It's not a huge diminish. It's a light diminish.
Yeah. I guess the best thing overall, right, is unique chain co-ability, in the sense that flame damage taken equals 4 strike 20%. And then in the case of Chelsea, it works out pretty uniquely.
Yeah. It also ties well into his 4 strike gives him immunity to knockback. So if he takes damage while charging it up, it's just going to power up that 4 strike that he's charging up. The downside, Sleep Res, if he gets hit by something that stuns him while he's charging a 4 strike, yeah, he doesn't get knocked back, but he gets stunned immediately. So, not very good in high Midgard Summer's Trial, but we're not playing that much these days.
Right.
So
right.
in Volk, yeah, I'd say off meta. He's not very mobile, and that's his biggest detriment.
That's what I was going to say. Like his kit is his mobility is like the worst. I think the worst in the game. One of the worst in the game.
Right.
And in Volk you have to move around.
Right, and then when you are casting that 4 strike, it's I don't believe you can cancel with a roll. Once you commit, you've committed to that swing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So you have to finish the swing before you roll.
Yeah,
and his damage potential is not even that high, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
He's more of a novel unit than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
he's good though.
Yeah, damage is fine. I mean, he can clear, right? It's just he needs something, either another defense down, maybe for him. I feel as if Hunter Berserker is in a position where if he does not have to use his skill 1 and he can use his Lion's Maw skill 2, his DPS will increase. The defense down is okay, right? And it is stackable with other defense downs, but it would definitely be better for someone else to be applying that defense down so he can get more 4 strikes in. The damage mods on his defense down are actually pretty low. It's like 700% maybe. It's 708.
Looks like
Moonbreaker.
Yeah. So, it's not astounding in the current meta. It's about half as powerful as what you would expect from a standard skill. But yeah, it has that defense down, which if you don't have any other type of defense down, is still a DPS gain.
Right. So at least he's more self-sufficient in that regard. But But maybe there's some secret student Maribel Hunter Berserker. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We're reaching here for that one. Yeah, I guess that's it for him. Do you guys have anything else that you want to add on Hunter Berserker?
Nope.
All right, let's move on to Gala Cerise. So she is dual res for sleep and stun. DPS, I believe, is just a little bit better than Chelsea. So that's going to show you where she's going to sit. My opinion, is going to be off meta and right above Chelsea. She has okay break damage, right? Obviously, her chain co ability is more, and co ability is more sought after than actually playing her. I don't know. She is rather lackluster at this point for a Gala unit. I think her Brilliant Bolt really needs a higher cap now that we have more potential for buffs. It has okay damage. It's decent. She has good synergy with Mars, right, in the aspect of refilling her skills, her buffs, things of that nature. Obviously, skill share benefits for her. Like if you're using Catherine's skill share, you can get multiple energy stacks from her. Well, 2 energy stacks from her to be specific, as well as 2 stacks of the Sylvan Strength. But it's I don't know. It doesn't really improve her DPS all too much. Yeah, Lace, what are your thoughts then on Gala Cerise as a unit? You think off meta is a fair placement for her?
I might place her up just a little bit. Like, she's not terrible. So, with the addition of her Chain Co ability, so she gets 2 buffs from Sylvan Strength, 2% Strength and 1% critical rate, but she also gets a level of Energy, and that is a permanent buff until she becomes energized. And it counts as one of the buffs. All 5 levels count as a single buff towards her Brilliant Bolt. But until she uses it, it counts as a buff. She has buff skill time, which is... It's alright. It is 30%, which is pretty big for a buff.
Yeah, that
type.
is pretty significant.
And yeah, her co-ability and chain co-ability are definitely some highlights of her kit. She's a great backliner. I know I use Hunter Cerise as a backliner because I recently found out that with Valerio, with his custom combo on his appetizer stance, hits like 27 times per combo, which means you get energized in like 4 combos. So I know we don't have like too terribly many flame units that hit that much in the roster, but like if you use something like, I don't know, Catherine's shared skill with this Chainco, you can like get like 2 levels of energy from it.
Yeah, right. And of course the Sylvan Strength stack. So, and those, of course, the Sylvan Strength then has its own self-synergy with the buff skill time.
Yeah, because Gala Luca is, I think, the only one that needs different icons for the buffs. So, like, if you deal, like, 40 hits with that skill, you'll get 4 buffs from Sylvan Strength, not 2. And so, Brilliant Bolt, her skill, is actually one that I went ahead and unlocked, and I have it in tandem with Xander's skill, that both power up with the number of buffs you have. So... my idea was to put them on units like Gala Luca that inherently get a lot of buffs themselves, or like other units that just get a lot of buffs. So her first skill, it's decent. It really needs a lot of buffs to reach its maximum potential, though.
Yeah. Now hers, it's pretty easy to come by, especially with chain co abilities, allowing additional buffs or ticks for buffs. Yeah, the skill share system definitely helps her out in terms of DPS, like having Xander's skill share, right, for example. But the novelty of the dual res is also valuable for Volk's Wrath. She can pretty much pop any one of the traps, and those traps do help fill skill gauge.
True.
So that part is pretty nice too.
But like with that, you're already probably going to have multiple resistances.
Right.
Cerise is just, it's nice to have that novelty, but like you don't need it per se.
Right. It's not a
Um,
big bonus for her. Yeah.
And like you optimally want to have multiple people pop those nodes because otherwise you're hogging all the skill charge to yourself.
Yeah.
So like popping the nodes isn't just a mechanic to prevent an attack. There is a reward for doing so, and I think that's really good game design.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
The big downside I see in her kit is her skill 2, which has a pretty high SP cost, and just is a team-wide strength or defense buff for 20%.
Right. Right. I feel like if that was just simply a strength buff, it would have a lot more value, or if it was a mix of the two.
I mean,
without
yeah,
having
like,
to reset.
I mean, it doesn't really matter to me that it switches between them. The big thing is the high SP cost.
That's true too, right? Because now you're digging for the strength buff, and then you're digging for the defense buff. Yeah, it's kind of like you don't get to choose essentially. At least with Patia, right? You have the benefit of getting both. Whereas in this case, it's like the strength buff feels really good, and then the defense buff is going to feel strange. But it could have some value with some of the double buff users. You know, for example, if you are running me and my bestie an expert Volk, right? At least that's a way to give an extra energy stack to those teammates. So, yeah, it's okay. I don't know. S2 is her skill 2 is nothing too fancy. Brilliant Bolt and then any shared skill with buff modifiers for additional buffs is definitely where she'll shine. Yeah. Any thoughts, Lorart, on Gala Cerise?
Where did you put her?
Right now, off meta is where we have.
Off
I
meta,
have
yeah.
her sitting.
I'd say she's like just average, standard on B plus.
Yeah.
B plus.
Do
Yeah.
you guys both think then she really should be B plus? Because I think Lace was saying higher than off.
Yeah,
meta.
I'd say average. She's
Yeah,
not
she's-
astounding, but she's not bad.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would 100% run with a Gala Cerise on my team with no problems.
Let me see. Then I
She
guess
also doesn't
I don't know.
get on
then.
the way with Bard.
What I don't know. I guess. Yeah. I guess she can go towards the top of the average. I mean, that's probably fine. It'd be top of B plus. I mean, the competition here is pretty lax. It's Carl, Student Maribel, Reyna, Naveed, Zania. I mean, it's nothing too crazy. So, yeah, and then of course there's also the whole 4-strike update that maybe bumps her a little bit higher, but I don't know.
I don't see 4 strikes changing. Like,
Yeah.
I guess they did say they might adjust the power a little bit, but I don't see that moving anyone. Because if they do it globally to like half the roster, because they're doing like half the weapon types,
Right.
and like I don't see it changing relative.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, we already have 2 wands in here as well, so those wands would get adjusted accordingly. So
Yeah, but since we don't have it,
we can't talk about it, right?
Yep.
Right. I want to talk about it so bad, but I understand. I
Someday.
understand. Yes, soon on the next rendition, maybe. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna move on from Gala Cerise. I think we've pretty much covered what makes her shine for the most part. We're gonna look at Halloween Mim first, and then we'll look at Gala Mim. Obviously, you guys will have to temper me back because I'm going to be very biased with these picks. Anecdotally, I've played a ton of both Halloween Mim and Gala Mim, so I definitely know like where they shine, and quite frankly, the team composition where they shine the best is going to be with 2 Marths and a Halloween Lowen. Obviously going for last boosts and going for the defense downs. That stuff makes her really, really good. I hesitate to put Halloween Mim on S. I don't think she really deserves that slot. But I definitely want to say A+. Because I feel like she is just a very strong enabler. Having the only in-kit defense down skill, and the ability to do 2 defense downs within her kit.
Also good collab.
Also very good coab, yes. The Dragon Haste is incredible, and the crit mod is great, especially on one of our heavy hitters, which is possibly a flash of genius. I don't know who that could be. You're going to have to find out in a little bit. But yes, definitely a staple for that individual. Obviously, of course, I've been playing around a lot with Xiao Wuxing's shared skill on her for the double defense down, and then of course the quick shift mechanic that you can do. So for example, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a play-by-play, and yes, I've done a lot of Halloween Mim, so as I stated, I love playing her. The really fun shared skill combo that I've come to love is Gala Mim's shared skill and Xiao Wuxing's shared skill on Halloween Mim. And this allows you to get 2 defense downs and then the extra skill to build her Dragon Gauge on top of tons of Dragon Haste as well. So every time she shifts with a Mars equipped, she's going to get access to all her skills again, which of course with the Gala Mim skill is going to refill back the gauge. And then at the correct opportunity, or as often as you'd like, you can get a 30% defense down collective zone for, it's about 8 seconds. It's really not a true 10 seconds, right? Because you have to place both zones. And the cast time is about 1.5 seconds to cast the second defense down. So that's definitely given me a lot of merit, especially placing her with those defense downs on break. I've had the Marths do tons and tons of break damage from having such a crazy defense down, because you do also get the Tempering Fancy, so you get the strength buff as well off the kit, which is pretty nice. Beyond that, though, her personal damage is not so great, so obviously she's relying on the other units to do DPS. Her in dragon form DPS is much better than her own outside, in her axe form. So, yeah, and her shared skill is pretty much not worth using. I don't see her shared skill being any type of value. I think that pretty much covers her, unless you guys have any other thoughts on. Have you guys run with Halloween Mim? Have you seen her in your pub metas at all? I know like she's a little more rare.
Yeah, I did some runs with her, especially at the time we were running expert instead of master.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but master I did some, just a few, but I did a lot of expert runs with Halloween Mim. Yeah, I think she's A+. S. And
you do think she's an S?
Yeah. She's solid. No. Yeah. She's S. Like, she's one of the best characters, I think, in Flame.
Okay.
Maybe the thing about her is just to get the best clears with her, you have to play really well. So maybe A+. Because like she's great, right? So,
Right.
But I just feel like the defense down is good, but I don't know, like A+ actually, yeah.
Yeah. And then Lace, what are your thoughts on Halloween Mim in Master?
I've never run with her, and I only just recently pulled her, so I'm not too familiar with how she plays.
Okay.
But I can tell from looking at her kit that she's decently good, because I was talking back on Hunter Berserker about like defense buffs, and like 5% for 10 seconds is kind of, is meh, kind of average. Like she has her zone is 15% for 10
Right.
seconds, which is
Right.
pretty big. That's a lot of extra damage. And so like with very powerful teammates, that's a lot of team DPS. It's kind of like a buff bot, but against the enemy.
Right, yeah, the inverse, or the debuff bot, if you will.
Yeah.
And of course, like she has good co-ability, good chain co-ability, as well as like good personal damage and double resistances.
Yeah.
So
I mean it's double resistance, but
I mean,
It
yeah,
is,
one of
it is a
but,
comical
hey,
resistance
look,
being burned.
she's
Yeah.
really, really good in Tempest Chimera.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
That's true.
If only the list was on Tempest or the twins, because she is dual res to the twins.
Yep.
So
That's true.
please don't try that, but still, it's possible.
Team
I'm-
Claire, let's go.
Well, Lace, I'll give you the final say then for the tiebreaker. Do you believe that she is S or A plus in your opinion,
You're
based
asking
on what
the
you've
wrong
seen?
person because I don't know.
That's fine. I want her to be S. Let me tell you. I
okay.
do.
Well,
In my heart of
I'm
hearts.
gonna curb your bias
Okay.
and say A.
Oh, okay. So A plus then is where she'll have to stay.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. I think that's fair. You know, I have had a lot of very comfortable runs with her, and I've actually had some of my best times in Masters. So, yeah. I mean, yeah. And then of course co-ability, right? Being unique. The only other person having her co-ability is Valentine's Melody, which also her chain co-ability kind of trumps that of Valentine's Melody, but with 20% Dragon Haste. That's already a huge
Yeah.
amount to start. So, yeah, no, it's actually pretty nice because you can run Yuden, or you can run and or Yuya, right, on her. Plus her Dragon Haste, you can get a ton of Dragon Haste on Halloween Moon, and just become
Not to
a,
mention,
yes.
I feel like Dragon Haste is so good in Flame.
Oh my gosh, especially
Like-
with Mars.
With Mars.
Yeah, with Mars, the Mims have good Dragon forms too.
Oh, absolutely, they have
Like
great mods.
everyone can have like amazing Dragon form, not like, and like the thing about Mars is not only the Dragon form is busted, but you get the skills right.
Right.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
but like, Mim won't be turning into Mars's dragon form.
yeah, but she still gets the ending shapeshift.
The end
I-
shapeshift, yeah.
Yeah.
And her own dragon form is nothing to scoff at.
Right.
No,
right.
it's actually
the mods on
Halloween
those
Manor.
are-
Yeah, it's actually better than you. If you play correctly, you get more damage than Mars.
Yes.
Halloween Mim at least.
And they
So,
have
like-
the. I think they both have the attack rate buff in Dragon form, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that while we're peeping this, because I believe.
like-
yeah.
Not only that, but like, if you should like, if you're running, Yuden or any sword actually, like, the flame swords, which there are a lot of, you can build the TSL Dragon Claw so quickly with that many, with a lot of Dragon Haste collabs. And there's also like Galamim's Dragon Claws. Like there's just, I feel like Flame has so many good things going for Dragon Form, for shapeshifting. So Dragon Haste on Flame is always amazing.
Yes. Oh, and yes. So Flame Worm's sweet nature, right, is the reduced susceptibility of burning by 100%, and then when shapeshifted, she transforms into herself. And attack rate while shapeshifted is increased by 15%.
Yeah, which is what makes her better, like so broken. I think.
Right. The even
Not only
more
the
wild
damage
thing.
mods.
The
Yeah,
even
yeah.
more wild thing about it is Draconic Dream. When you have Dream Boost active, you get 20% dragon damage modifier added to Mim's dragon form, and 100% defense. Actually, it's just straight up. It's just straight up 100% defense in dragon form. And then if you have Boost Live, it's the 20% mods. So, yeah. Well, and we just also got the Dracolist, the boost by 30% mods, which is
Mm-hmm.
nothing to scoff at too. That's a good boost, with especially when the dragons already have really solid mods, at least both versions of Brunhilde.
Yeah.
Another thing to consider with the shapeshift attack rate is, like I was saying with Hunter Berserker, how his custom 4-strike isn't just a custom 4-strike, it's a custom 4-strike with a 30% increase. So, like, when designing the custom dragon form, they could have made it a dragon form with the attack rate that it has, but they gave it a slightly slower attack rate, but with 15%, so to get what we currently have. So, if you get other attack rate sources, like from Marth, for instance, it's going to stack with that 15%.
Right. And the cap of the attack rate is, I believe, 50% is the attack rate cap.
Yeah.
So
Which is not easy to get. too.
Right, right. You can
But
see it with two Marths. I mean, they
That's
both
true.
do
Well,
like 30%. Right?
So maybe yes, maybe no, because the cap for attack rate buffs is 50%. I'm not sure if this ability counts as a buff.
oh yeah, me neither.
Oh, interesting.
So you might be able to get up to 65%.
That would be
Don't
nice.
take my word for it. I'm not sure.
We'll test. I will test. Definitely. I think that does it for Halloween. I'm gonna move on to Galamim.
hmm
Yeah.
She, honestly though, for my own pickings, I'm gonna put her. I want to say, I mean, personally, I want to stick her in front of Yuden, and just say that they're pretty much on a similar level. They have the same goal in mind, right? Her out of dragon form is better than his when it comes to stacking the strength buffs with dragon claws. And funnily enough, I mean, they both use the other one in their backlines. I mean, or at least you can use Yuden in Mims. I actually think it's probably better to use Yuya and Marth instead for Mim. But yeah, I mean, as a Dragon Claw stacker, especially with being able to access the Red Impulse, Mim has a lot going for her. Especially with also not having to deal with burn, not being a burn oversaturator. I guess the only other way that she would is if she used Yuden's shared skill to build Dragon Gauge more quickly. That's the only other way I could see her adding burn, but it wouldn't be at the same rate that Yuden would be burning, since she wouldn't be using his skill nearly as often as he would be using hers. Or I mean, he'd be using his own, right? So I think it's a fair placement to put her on very strong. Obviously, the only downside to Galamim, which may knock her down, is that her initial DPS on the team is lackluster till first shift. So you do need to shift a singular time, which makes the skill cap on her a lot higher. If you don't shift and kill off the dragon before Overwhelming Hunger, you're officially in like a DPS deficit because you're down an entire dragon shift. So losing out on the bonus 15% strength early on is big. Losing out on the better dragon form is big. Losing out on essentially 3 stacks of dragon claws from that first shift is huge, and then the empowered skill too are all things that you're losing if you're unable to shift your dragon form into that time. Now, you can technically shift and use dragon to tank Overwhelming Hunger. That's okay. You can definitely do that. Because, well, actually, Overwhelming Hunger and Steel Vitality, because Steel Vitality will only drain HP if it attacks an adventurer that is not plagued. It won't heal Volk if it hits the dragon forms. So I guess there's a little more leeway as I'm talking about it, where you don't necessarily have to get your first dragon form off. I've just gotten so used to getting my first dragon form and killing it off quickly, because her first dragon form is, of course, not the greatest. It's much more valuable to get that initial strength buff from the shift and the claws stacking as fast as possible. So, yeah, and then I have to say, as far as her backline is, Dragon Claw 6, amazing, no complaints. Really, really good for Yuden, really, really good for herself, and any other future Dragon Claw stackers, as well as her shared skill is the best skill to stack Dragon Haste or Dragon Gauge, period. Like, if you have a dragon stacking unit like Yuden or Zainfried, Fort, etc., like, Galamim's skill is like 6k SP, and it gives, I think it's like 8?
5%.
5%? Yeah, it ends up being around 8 when you add in your Dragon Haste and things like that. Almost 10 per skill cost at like a 6k SP, right, when you add in all the haste. So it's really, really good. It definitely increases the shifting potential. And of course, I'm always a fan to see that outside of the element, right, or to have more global usage. I know that fact doesn't factor into our tier list here because what Zainfried does with Mim's skill has no effect on her performance in Volk, but it is just important to note that in this case, Yuden is also a Dragon Claw stacker, and his potential is increased because Gala Mim's existence. So that's kind of where I'm placing her. At least on the tier list, is right above him. Like I said, with the Dispel feature that Yuden has, I don't see it as being a big reason to hold him over her. Obviously, her Dragon form is better and easier to stack and fill than Yuden, being in Mars. So that's kind of where I see her at. I don't know if you guys have a different opinion or if I've placed her again too high. I definitely would love to hear your guys' thoughts. I guess we'll start with Laura at this time.
Yeah, I don't think she's better than Yuden. Like, she's good. I'd say she's A actually, but the thing is, I think it's important to note that her Dragon form is not as strong as Halloween Mim. It is still good, but it's not as good as Mars, actually.
Is it really? I'm pretty sure the
Yeah,
mods are
because yeah, but like Mars, not only Mars can use 2 skills, right? But the thing is, Halloween Mim has a lot of like the abilities we talk about on Mars.
better.
Not Mars, sorry. Halloween Mim makes her Dragon form really strong, really strong. And if you check like the maximum damage you can get with each dragon, Halloween Mim is higher than Mars, which is higher than Mim. Outside of Dragon form, she's not bad, but she's not also like not spectacular. She I think she's kind of lacking. Dragon Claws is nice, as a collab, but because of the main collab, as a chain collab, right? But because of the HP collab, I see a lot of units, like even Yuden, don't run her on the backline. Because you can get a lot of stronger collabs with decent enough chain collabs. My problem with Mim is that she's too focused on the Dragon form, and she can charge it quickly with a good Dragon form. I just don't think it's good enough to compensate her lacking damage outside of Dragon form, because it's not so quickly to the point that you can be on Dragon form for more than half the battle like Tiki.
Right.
If Mim had a mechanic, Dragon mechanic like Tiki, she would be busted. But as of now, I don't think she's that good. I'd say she's like top of A. Strong. Okay. But I rather run, if I had to run with one of the Mims, I'd rather run with Halloween Mim. If I want to run with a Dragon focused character, I'd rather run Yuden. And if I want to run with a Lance, I'd rather run Nadine. So, yeah, she's not bad. She's strong. Can easily clear anything.
Right.
But, I just think she's not as good as the other characters.
Yeah, and this may be my personal bias that's blinding me.
Yeah.
We'll have to see the final opinion from Lace to see how you feel.
Yeah, I was looking up the mods on the wiki. It looks like Golemars is just a little bit better with his mods. His first 2 hits are bigger than hers by a little. His third hit's a bit smaller, but not by much. And then Mars has like the 2 strength buffs that he can get off during his dragon form. That being said, Golemim's damage is she's a Dragon Claws character, so her damage is going to ramp as the fight goes on. I would rank her next to Yuden. I'd say they're both Dragon Claws characters, so that's my verdict.
All right, here's what we'll do.
Wait, hold on.
Because I was checking the sim. I know, like we always have to take the sim with a
At-
grain of salt.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
But she's
Wait a minute. Does she not inflict burn?
No, she
No.
does not.
But
I know she's the flame worm,
What?
right? And she doesn't burn.
what? I'm
So-
not like mechanic wise. That's not bad, but like what?
Right. Well, so the one thing that's crazy about the sim is I'm very confident in stating that the sim does not calculate declaws and
It
the
does.
shifts. Does it?
Yeah, that's why Yudin is so high there.
Are you sure?
I mean, she's not like. Okay, she is a bit.
She's
below
not bad,
Yuden.
but she's around with Mikoto. She's not that good.
Well, if
Um,
that's the case, then if she's around with Mikoto, then from a DPS standpoint, she would fall all the way to off meta.
of course we should always like take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
I do think she's better than Mikoto. Better than
I mean,
lot of
Makoto's also a lot
characters.
harder to play to maintain his DPS.
that's true.
So
Yeah.
but
I mean, this could be a condition of bottom of A.
yeah,
right?
Mim also has.
I mean, our A
good
is
burst
pretty
damage.
open in terms of like what A actually is at the moment, and
Yeah.
it's very possible that missing something is just,
damage.
yeah, I mean, strong in the ways of Dragon Claw stacking, but missing something in the fact of either getting those claws more quickly, or having her dragon form, which is what you want, last longer. For example, as Lace stated earlier, I believe, was talking about Tiki's Dragon Drive, and if Mim's mechanic worked like that, she probably would see a massive rise in DPS just because of how she gets attack speed or attack rate, and her dragon mods are solid. Also, probably a rechargeable dragon skill 1 with the amount of time she spends in dragon. Her mods are very strong. It's like 1200% from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
empowered form for her dragon skill.
I mean,
So-
the other thing is because she isn't a Dragon Drive unit, she can Dragon Tank. That's something that Tiki cannot do.
That's
True.
also true. Yeah. I don't know. I think either way though, A is still a respectable position.
It is, yeah, totally.
And obviously, this is a Gala unit that has not received a spiral, right? I mean, no Galas have received a spiral, but even so, she is 50 MC, and we are comparing with the 70 MC spiral, which is, I know it's Yuden and it's a story character, but they give great spirals to the story characters.
True.
So, I think this is fair. I think setting her a tier under Yuden, at least a plus or minus tier. I mean, A plus between A. I mean, it's very, very tight. It's
Yeah.
very tight. So, I'm cool with that for now. I think I'm comfortable.
But she's so good. Like she's. Don't
Yeah,
get
no,
me
I-
wrong. She's strong.
It's not gonna stop me from playing her. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
And I say, at least I got my ult that's an A plus as it stands. So, all right, we
How I
have.
Mimic is amazing.
Yeah, gosh, I'm definitely gonna be trying to play some Master Volk. I think after this, just to get some Halloween Mim games in. We have 3 units left, and each one of them is pretty exciting. So, I think then we will cover Crom, and we'll work our way from there. I'm gonna put Crom actually at the top of A plus. I want to put him at the bottom of S, to be honest, but I don't think that he deserves to be there based on the current team DPS of Master Volk never lines up with Crom's Exalted Aether for break.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's so detrimental to his kit that I can't put him as the best unit in the element because his kit with the current team DPS does not reflect that appropriately. Like every time I have played Crom, every time that I work with him in the public lobbies, I either have to hold my Exalted Aether or I've missed my Exalted Aether. And I know that's a player-based analysis, and that's anecdotally from me. But I feel, and this we kind of talked about this like off stream or off the off camera, right? Is like because of the way Eugene is designed, right, with having his checkmate stack and be able to be stored for later, it makes me feel like I wish Crom could have been designed that way to ensure that the break damage would be there. You know, it seems more resourceful. It seems more logical for that style of kit that they've gone for. The skill reservoir and the counter stacking, the two different systems, are kind of at odds with each other, especially if you're using Mars. Because you'll get your skill ones. You'll get them pretty quick, actually, when you shift from Mars, but the problem is that you still have to fill the gauge, the skill reservoir gauge, which is not filling when you're in Mars, and then you still have to get an additional 2 other counters past the skill fill to get that, skill 2 to its max. So I guess before I go on too much farther, Lace, did you want to? Did you have anything to add for Crom, or did you anything you want to point out?
There's a typo in his third ability. It says rightful king. I believe that belongs to Xander.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, no. Jokes aside, his kit it's pretty cool. I want to say, like you kind of nailed the idea that his Awakening Ether has the problem that you really want to land that on break, but there are a lot of little factors that need to work into that timing, or else you're going to suffer a major DPS loss by either not doing it on break or holding it until break. So like Eugene has this nice thing where he can hold his big damage for whenever he wants. But this is probably less of a thing in pub rooms and co-op, that AI Crom doesn't care about Awakening Ether. Skill 2 ready, use skill 2. So
that's also true, yeah.
His co-ability doesn't really help him that much, but it is a really strong co-ability, HP and defense. As we touched on earlier, this sucker can it's the best defensive co-ability in the game.
Oh yeah, especially for Flame, when they take advantage of the elemental res, right?
Yeah, it's got burn equals user wind res for 8% wind res, which is again multiplicative with defense. And HP is just kind of on its own. Like defense does something different. So 8 HP just increases your max HP. So if the number fits below your max HP, you don't die. So that's how that works. When calculating defense, it's the total damage dealt divided by like the defense reductions, and then the damage dealt to an enemy is taken 1 minus their elemental res. So when an enemy is dealing damage to you, if you have 8% flame res, it's going to be like 1 minus 0.08 is going to be like 0.92. So it's a multiplicative reduction as well with the defense. That being said, wind res is not commonly a good chain co-ability, but with his defensive setup, it's pretty nice. And then his first ability is, of course, full HP equals strength, which in some content is hard to hold in Master Volk or Expert Volk, where you have a healer present and you're really only taking damage on big things. As long as you're not getting hit by the little things, that's decently easy to maintain. But yeah, his big thing is his skill 2. You want to charge it up and use it.
Right. Yeah, it's all of his damage essentially. So, yeah, Lerart, anything else you wanted to cover on Crom?
Yeah, like both of you said, I never get the ether on break. Never. And usually what happens is I use ether, and then like the overdrive bar just goes from like a little more than half or half to break or close to breaking, and I can never get my ether on break.
Right.
So that's the biggest problem with him. Like I feel like he could be better if we somehow broke faster, but I just feel like as of now I'd say he's A+, right there with Yudin. They're equally good in my opinion. Not worth mentioning too is if you get hit even once, Crom doesn't do as much damage as he would do, because his first ability needs him to be at full HP to get the 15 strength. So, which is again like there's always low end, right? but it is harder to maintain the full HP with their melee character.
Right.
Yeah, the other thing with Lowen is like Lowens typically save their healing skills for like the big damage. They can like heal those up. If you take like I don't know 5% of your max HP, like from a wolf or something, like Lowens aren't gonna pay super much attention to that.
Yeah.
At least the
So,
good,
like-
the good ones aren't.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like he's good, but wastes his potential because he can't use the Aether on break, and also harder to use than the other characters because he needs to maintain full HP.
Mhm.
Being a sword character, it's harder,
Yeah.
but he's good still.
Yeah, that being said, he still has 6,000% mods on his
Yeah,
skill.
yeah,
too.
Right.
exactly.
His damage is great, and that's
Yeah.
why he will sit top of A plus, if
Yeah.
anything.
Awakening
Uh,
Aether is crazy. Like the first time I saw that, I was shocked.
Oh my
Like-
gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
like,
with
you
those-
energize that 50% damage. You inspire that 70% damage plus
Yeah.
modifiers.
right.
You bog
You
the
bog,
enemy.
yeah.
Oh boy, 50% more damage.
Defense down buffs, debuffs,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like-
I've seen like a
buffs,
4 million.
Because like I was talking about like 5% not being a huge defense down. 5% defense down against a 6,000% mod is going to be a lot of damage.
Right.
Like every little bit makes a huge bit when your little bit is a lot of bit.
Absolutely. Now try
get it?
Halloween Mim with 30% defense down zone on break. It's a great time. It's a great time. Love it every time.
it was a meme run, but I saw like things like 19 million.
Oh yeah,
damage.
and I think it was
Yes,
Expert
that's fine.
Volk, right? Where they
Yeah,
just
it was a yeah, it was a meme run though, so not counting that.
Right,
but
right. So
uh,
obviously not exactly viable in that regard, but
but it was just funny.
right.
He can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean that's the probably the biggest number I've ever seen off any
It
unit,
is
any single
by a large
unit,
margin.
so-
It's the largest damage mod by a huge margin.
Right. So, yeah, I think that's it for Crom. I mean, now we have, I guess, a competitive or competitor for Sleep Res, which I would say is probably the true S tier unit, Ezlith. So, yeah, Laura, do you want to take it away with Ezlith?
Yeah. Azalith. Daggers, just like swords, are amazing for breaking the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the master comp, the most popular master comp is one Azalith, two Marths, and Halloween Lowen. And it breaks really fast. Around the time you're getting the first Seal Vitality, you're breaking. With that comp, if everyone plays well with Golemars. She has really good damage with her S1, getting her at 100% crit rate, which is crazy. If you count that with shared skills, she can do so much more damage, like so much burst damage. And she has Broken Punisher, which makes her burst damage even better on break. She just has not to mention like because she's a dagger, she has access to one of the best skill damage prints right now, which is what's the name?
Twinfold Bonds?
Yeah, Twinfold Bonds, which is amazing. It's 40% skill damage and 20% flurry strength, I think.
15, I believe.
15? Yeah.
I believe.
Still
yeah.
like
Mhm.
it's a lot. It's just such a good print. If you take everything into consideration, she just has like amazing damage overall. But when she's on break, her damage is crazy. Like I've seen some clears on Master Volk. You do so much damage with Azalith if you
Right.
take everything into consideration. Which it is easy to reach those conditions with Azalith. With Mars around, with Marv getting so many buffs, skill share, and you can bog on skill share now too, which is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
yeah.
yeah, she just do so much damage. She helps on breaking fast. She doesn't rely on burn. She also doesn't get on the wave on Marv's wave with the burn.
Mhm.
and she has the crit rate, which is insane with shared skills, and Mars.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
just I feel like she's the best early Spiral we got.
Mm-hmm.
She's just I she just everything that Flame gets, she gets a little better. Uh, so I think she's, in my opinion, the second best character in Flame. Just because, again, amazing break damage, overall amazing damage, good. She does have a defense down, if I think, yeah, on her skill
Yeah,
too.
she does,
which
and she also has a defense down like debilitator, right?
Yeah.
Increasing the susceptibility of defense downs.
Yeah. So like she is really good. She melts the overdrive bar, and she has a lot of iframes, which is good on Volk. She has good mobility being a dagger. One of the best co-abilities in the element with crit rate and combo time,
Hmm.
and just overall amazing character. If you have have her spiral, uh, just combos really well with everything Flame has. Yeah, I think she's just really really strong.
Yeah, yeah, no, and I think the other thing too that's a good point is the skill share system, or at least when her spiral was created, it was not designed with the skill share system in mind, which in Ezlith's case is perfect because
Yeah.
100% crit off of her skill 1 from her ability Flash of Genius is very strong going into any of the shared skills. I mean, Ranzel's shared skill alone, already has like a 2200 mod. I mean,
Yeah, but
yeah.
if shared is
Oh,
1000.
right. I'm sorry. Yeah. So shared, right, is a
strong.
it's still
Like
yeah,
that
it's still incredibly strong.
Damage plus crit mods.
Right. So stacking those crit mods, and not to mention, she's also getting the crit mod 30% off Halloween Mim, and the extra 20% Dragon Haste off of that into a Mars, which will refill all of her skills to be reused as well. Yeah, I think Mars really does her wonders as well. But yeah, Lace, what are your thoughts on Ezlith as a unit?
So let me say this first. When I first read Ezela's story, I decided I didn't like her. She's pompous and egotistical,
Yeah.
and I thought it was just fitting that her kit didn't back up her big words, and then they spiraled her.
Mm-hmm.
And then her kit did back up her big words, and now she's pompous and egotistical and has the skills and damage to back it up. So, yeah, I did spiral Ezelith. Not right when she came out because I didn't want to, but I eventually did, and I must say she is fun to play. Like the dagger kit's fun. Howling Meteor, you can move while you use it, and it's a 5-second iframe, which used to be a huge DPS loss. Pre-spiral, her first skill was a DPS loss to basic combos. So, but its new one with the whole crit rate shenanigans is really good. So yeah, Flash of Genius increases her chance to inflict debuffs, which she can get from her second skill when her combo count is higher. The Chain-Co abilities, she got combo time, which fits with her whole thing, and that works even well with Twinfold Bonds because that has Flurry Strength. And then Broken Punisher. I was curious, so I looked up the damage formula. Bosses in the break states, you don't deal extra damage to them per se. Their defense gets reduced from a defense modifier of 1 to a defense modifier of 0.6.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
So that is the extra base damage you're dealing. Now multiply that extra damage by
Broken
35%, and that is the Broken Punisher. Also, in the damage formula, Broken Punishers are calculated separately from all other Punishers. So when calculating Punisher abilities together, all Punishers are additive. So like Burning Punisher and Poison Punisher, 20% each, will add together to 40%. But Broken Punisher is not additive. It's actually multiplicative with those. It's the only one that is. So yeah, Broken Punisher is pretty powerful if you like play your cards right. So
Especially now with everyone having so much burst damage. Like, I feel like every character we're getting has amazing burst damage. Just like has decent damage. Then one of their skills is amazingly strong.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Especially now with Skillshare, you
Mhm.
can do even more burst damage.
Right. Right.
I feel like we're reaching a point where the main focus is like breaking and just dishing everything and getting like more than half of the boss health on break. You see that a lot in pretty much every Agito.
Yeah, I know the twins
with-
were like a big example of that, right? Where
It's-
those clears became substantially faster by dumping all of your damage into break.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and you see like the best characters in each element. All of them have like a kit like this, like Hawk or Gal Alex with the break. Break damage is insane because of the skill chain.
Right, right, right.
Um,
Her chain is basically Broken Punisher.
yeah. So like if you see like a lot of the good characters have really solid burst damage because of break. And if you take the break, like Lei said, Broken Punisher is getting better and better. Like I remember back then, people said, like everyone agreed, that Broken Punisher was kind of meh.
Mhm.
But nowadays, I just feel like Broken Punisher is such a good ability to have.
Right.
Okay.
And
So-
also worth mentioning, this is kind of like a side thing, but Azalith, even with Arctos, she still performs really well. Not as good as Mars, but it's still solid, really strong. And Arctos can stun. It's one of the most reliable stuns on Volk.
Mhm.
Of course, you can always run a shared skill, but just wanted to mention that.
Yeah. So remember how Elegant Escort used to be like super memeable for being a terrible print, and then the burn meta happened?
Yeah.
So in that same vein of worm prints, we got an indelible date, Ezalith's worm print, which is Broken Punisher 30%. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that made a upsurgence in the upcoming metas.
It's possible,
Yeah.
although there's two prints that have been on my mind that are 25% Broken Punisher. And it's Brother in Arms, which is also a double buff, strength double buff print. And you also have the Force Strike print, Lurker in the Woods, which is 25% Broken Punisher and 50% Force Strike damage.
Yep. And Candy Courier, so.
Well, Candy Couriers, yeah, but like let's say like for example you're playing with Ezalith, right? You could run Lurker, and then the 2C Force Strike combo for Dagger during Overdrive is a viable strategy for her. Your Force Strike's getting empowered, right? But the bigger reason then would be the Broken Punisher aspect of it,
Mhm.
right? I would take a 50% Force Strike bonus when Daggers are optimal during Overdrive to do 2C Force Strike. You know, I would trade 5% Broken to do 50% Force, because then you're going to break faster, right?
I mean, why not put Lurker in the Woods on Crom?
You definitely could. I mean, and you could, and you got Shining Overlord, right? So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
that's something. I mean, that's going to break faster as well. Oh, boys, we might be making
Yep.
something wild, or
I mean,
we're just going
it's-
off the deep end at this point.
It still might not be optimal, but it could be fun.
Right.
Yeah.
We're trying to see
It
big
sounds
numbers.
really fun. It sounds really fun.
But anyway, yeah, I think that wraps it for at least for the meta talk on Ezalith and Broken. And we'll have, of course, things to play with Broken Punisher.
Yep.
I guess then to bring it back home is the Hero King.
Oh yeah. Let's make half of the video now.
So now this is where the video stops, right? And then part 4 comes out. 'Cause this is already probably going to be part 3, based
Yeah.
on our discussion. I think, yeah, I honestly like. This is probably going to be a 3-parter, and everyone's going to see this and they're like, oh yeah, I'm watching part 3. So like, yes, this is a 3-parter. But yeah, Marth is, I mean, guys.
Busted.
Yes, like, I mean, last boost, you know, want to see me do it again? And then he does it again. So shout out to Bara for making that meme. I loved it. But it's true. I mean, they this unit. I mean, you take him from his non-spiral days, and he automatically was in the team compositions for time attack, and had the fastest time using last boost. And now fast forward to today, 4 skills, 2 last boosts. All right, per Marth.
Yeah.
All right, like bro, like if you got 2 Marths on your team, that's 4 last boosts. That's 4 skills to fill the
Not-
whole team. You know, per unit. That's
Yeah,
16
and,
skills.
There's so much to talk about.
I
there,
mean-
because like the S2 skill shift is so strong because of the
yes.
strength buffs, strength
Yes.
and attack rate buff.
Yes, not to
For the
mention
entire
all of
team.
them are burning punish.
Yeah.
So why don't
And
we, like,
Mars charges the skills too.
why don't we step through his kit piece by piece, since there's
Yeah,
like
sure.
a lot of
Oh
multiples here.
gosh,
Like,
I think that's the best way to do it.
Marth in
Thank you, Lace.
particular, seems like on the surface, he seems like a unit where there's no cohesion in his kit. Like his skills, his co-abilities, his regular abilities, like almost none of these things have anything to do with one another except his chain co and his third ability. But then all of these things are really strong in their own right, and that's the scary part about it. Is let's start with his first skill, Flickering Flames. It's a shareable skill. Not even a terribly high SP cost at 7,000 shared, and then 2,800 for the regular skill. Deals a lot of damage and inflicts burn. So,
Not to mention it does heal.
yeah, that's right. Sorry, it grants himself a healing regeneration. It was 7% recovery potency, so it's not a lot, but you do use this skill pretty often. And that helps remove plague and Volk. It like helps top you off if you like get pecked by a wolf. Like, it's a really solid skill in its own right. And so then, if you guys want to add anything,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that pretty much tops it for skill 1. I mean, all in all, like, yes, it's his shareable skill, and that's probably the weakest part of his entire kit. I mean, that's the thing, is like, it's still a good shareable skill
Yeah,
because you have
like-
sustain. I mean, yeah, the burn is okay, whatever, but it's a damage skill that has healing self regen, so
Yeah.
it's not even the worst skill in the world, and it's 5 cost, which means
It's a decent skill share actually. Like
yeah,
low
uh,
SP cost, okay damage, burns and heals yourself.
yeah, a little
Yeah.
jack of all trades. Little,
it deals about 1,000% damage total before the burn. So,
Right. And most units, or most bosses, I mean, I know this is obviously Volk specifically, where you will burn him and you will overcap him in burn, so it's not the best skill share for this fight, but, you know, potentially moving forward, you know, its potential could be elsewhere. I mean, as of right now, it's okay. It's a solid skill.
I mean,
Right.
I probably personally wouldn't pick it over Ancient Ray, but that's just
Yeah, I mean, look, the range on the skill is already great as long as you're facing the wolves. So you can pick quite a few wolves. I picked 3 wolves off on that Marth, so on Flickering Flames, at least if I've had good placements. So yeah, I mean, that's a great skill, right? And then even going into Fire Emblem, I mean, this is like his.
where the shenanigans happen.
Yes, this is his
Well,
skill.
not
I
even.
mean, well, right. I mean, he's right. Last boost, right, is
We'll
is
get
where
there.
things get wild. But I mean, just simply walking through Fire Emblem. I mean, the bottom line is adding that burning foes take extra damage is actually just alone would have already been enough, right? But the whole skill shift mechanic, the first phase, okay, selfish 10% strength for 10 seconds, okay. You know, second phase, entire team strength 10% for 10 seconds. Okay, that's nice. You know, this is all cute and fun and nice. But this third hit for the attack rate increasing by 30%, the whole team, on top of a massive burning punish strike. I mean, that alone, the fact of the matter is attack rate increases your damage and your SP generation, which is a multiplicative bonus to your DPS. I mean, you're getting additional standard hits, right? Your 4-strike rate's coming out at the same, but your standard hits are coming out faster, which is more
Yeah.
SP.
In fact, when I was getting used to Marth, running like multiple Marths, I was having a hard time doing the optimal combo because it was so fast. I'm used to it now, but just
Yeah, no, for sure, absolutely.
One of the problems I see with Fire Emblem is if you're running like 2 or definitely more than 2 Marths and your skills are in sync, on the third rotation you're going to have some seriously diminishing returns because attack rate caps at 50%. And if you have 2 of those, that's a total of 60%. So you're already losing 10% if 2 use their skills at the same time. And anything beyond that, you're going to lose. However, if a Marth falls out of sync, it gets very much more powerful.
and like even if they are in sync, it's not even bad still. Like Marth is just like oh my god. And the Fire Emblem does so much damage too, like
Yeah, like it deals one hit of 900%, but burning foes take like double. No,
Yeah.
actually double.
yeah. It's crazy. Like 900 is not even a bad mod if you take everything into consideration. All
I
the
mean,
buffs.
Like on its own for a skill 2, 900% is not a lot of damage for a
Yeah,
skill 2.
But, if you
But
take
with all
the
the other things this skill does, it's acceptable.
yeah.
Especially considering burning foes take double. That double is very acceptable for a skill 2.
Yeah.
Does all that.
And again, going back to Broken Punisher, not Broken Punisher, sorry, break damage.
Broken Punisher's
Oh.
coming in.
But
Lurker in the Woods.
if you're the SP cost is low enough
Mhm.
to almost always have the S2 ready on break, or if you don't have it ready, get it soon enough to use on break, and it's so good.
Oh, yeah. You can watch the bar and know when break is coming up.
yeah.
Absolutely,
But-
yeah.
His collab is amazing too. Like Dragon Haste plus above 10 hits equals strength.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the best collabs in the element.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10
Like-
hits. 10 hits is oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course, you know, the Dragon Haste is never bad because
Mark.
it used to be lackluster, right? But in massive quantities, Dragon Haste is a force to be reckoned with, especially when you're looking at, you know, how many times you get to use Mars,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? It's like now that we have these dragons that are heavily sought after for not necessarily the damage they bring to the table, but the aftermath, the passives that they have. Or even you could consider it inactive, right? I mean, the shapeshift ending is essentially something that's triggered by your shifting mechanic.
Mhm.
That forcibly pushes Marth's skill shift forward to get more attack rates for the team. You know, more burns, more damage, more healing. You know, it pushes his whole kit forward in a very heavily focused way. I mean, coming out of Mars's shift with 4 damage skills, you know, his skill 1, his skill 2, you know, Ranzel's skill, Curran's skill, you know, getting the poison punish, like those are big numbers, especially for a unit that's supposedly an all-arounder or supposedly more of like a supporting unit. His damage is unparalleled in Flame alone. So
Yeah, so his Chainco ability actually ties in with his third ability, Whirlwind Devastation. That got changed in his Mana Spiral from 15 hits to 10 hits, increases the critical rate by 13%. And so his Chainco is Strength by 13% when combo count is 10 or higher, and now he has critical rate by 13% when combo count is 10 or higher. 10 is very, very easy to get to.
Especially
and,
with
like,
Marth.
yeah, like, and like you don't even need like a backliner with combo time to keep this, and especially with the Agito weapon, which adds
Yeah.
1 second of combo time. Like, what does the DPS sim say is his best backliner?
for
It's
Marth
Blade.
specifically,
Oh, it just says
Blade,
Blades.
bow,
So you
and-
can put Nobu on there for sure.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you'll take the combo time.
Yep.
Yeah, there's really no reason not to take combo time, especially when multiple components of his kit is combo time, and you're probably going to be running Primal Crisis on top of it. So
DPS sim says Joe is backliner. Okay.
right.
Yeah.
That's the Burning Edge.
Yeah, I know.
So
It's like, but if you can't burn too quickly, then
Yeah,
I
I'd rather run
I probably
Cerise.
like Cerise.
depending on the team
Yeah.
composition,
Josh,
yeah,
you can use Cerise because how many hits does Flickering Flame do? 7.
I think it's 7.
It's
yeah.
7. Yeah.
So
Yeah, so Flickering Flames deals 7 hits and it's really quick. Plus, like your
Right.
standard hits, and you can energize yourself.
right.
So
Yeah, C2 4 strike is very fast as it is.
Hmm.
So
And the SP cost for Flickering Flames is so low.
yeah.
yeah, so
Man,
with
Marth's
with
crazy.
Reach, you can just energize yourself like
Marth is busted.
Yeah.
Such a great character too. Like I'm really happy that Cygames did him this way. I mean,
Mhm.
you know,
Like, yeah.
as the poster boy of Fire Emblem, he has been done a great service with as such a powerful passive as and we haven't even talked about really the big part of what makes him so good. I
Yep.
mean, we've been gushing over the rest of the kit, and yet you know the one thing we haven't even truly dove into is last boost.
Last boost. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we touched on it to begin with, but like again, that's the thing with Marth is every single piece of his kit is good on its own.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
And like, he can just spam everything.
Right.
With Mars, with the last boost, with the low SP cost, everything. Just, and like, with the Mana Spiral, his stats are really high,
Mm-hmm.
both HP and strength. So, yeah, Marth is just
So
one of the best characters in the game. Like, even outside Flame, I feel like Marth is his own element outside of Flame.
there's a trick, and this works with Marth, right? If you're running like I've been running Veronica's skill share right on him. And
Yeah.
it's been Veronica and Ranzel, right, is my 2 skill shares that I'm running. If you get hit by Steel Vitality, and then you immediately use Veronica's skill afterward, Veronica will cut the 10% HP and bring you into last boost range.
Oh, that's cool.
So at least for my experiences, right, that's been how it's been for me. And so like you'll get the overwhelming hunger, right? You'll get the Steel Vitality, and then you immediately Veronica before low end heals, and you hit the 30% threshold,
Yeah.
and then boom, everyone gets their skills, and then you just immediately go in and do all your stuff again. You know,
There's
Flickering
also
Flame,
another-
skill 2, Ranzel, Veronica.
There's
was-
also another trick, which is more on solo. But if you run, what's her name? It's Grace's, helper skill.
Oh yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Down
Yeah.
to 30.
It's more a solo thing, but it's still cool.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then
Um,
even so, like, yeah. Go ahead, Lace. I'm
Looking
sorry.
at, I was curious when you said like he was really strong, so I pulled up the list of adventures on the wiki and sorted by strength. With Spiral, with all units spiraled, he's the 9th strongest adventurer in the game
Wow.
among everyone.
Right. Right.
Just
Right.
Really high.
And he's digging through all the shadow units too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's just-
that includes all this. This is the base strength. So he has a base strength with Spiral
Oh.
of 605.
I see.
Strongest
Okay.
in the game is Eyasu at 624.
And like, you have to consider also like swords. Like, it's that his strength is really high for swords, because I feel like I might be wrong on that, but I feel like for base strength, it's usually the highest one are on average blades,
Mm-hmm.
then axes, and then swords.
Yeah, wands have it too. So like
Yeah, yeah.
after Eyasu is both Curran and Lin Yu. Guys, I'm sorry, but Cassandra is stronger than Marth.
What?
Base
Cursed.
strength is 1-6.
Guys, that's a cursed thought.
Yeah, that's a really cursed.
I mean, Fjorm is also just barely stronger than Marth at 608 over his 605. But like, this is base strength. Like, this doesn't count like skill mods or like
Yeah.
actual
What they
kit.
bring to
So,
the table and things like
yeah,
that.
base strength is nice, and it can make a difference if it's like way offset. But like, normally for a non-spiraled unit, 800 is really good HP, and 520 is really good strength.
Right.
Or I guess 500 is like baseline for good strength, and 521 is the maximum we've seen with Eyasu, Natalie, and
No.
Linnea. Have all had 520.
Wukong has the highest strength at 50 MC. I'm serious.
Wait, for real?
Wait,
Yeah.
wasn't that a bug?
Was that a bug?
I'm pretty sure that was.
with like the
I'm pretty sure that was like a typo or something.
Oh, okay. Then it's a
Yeah,
bow.
no. I remember seeing that. I'm pretty sure that was a typo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
Either
that was
way,
fun.
but you know Marth, but he's
Marth.
the boy. So
In like Marth is such a broken thing. Like everyone likes Marth, but Marth has the best use out of Mars.
I mean,
yeah, he's definitely up there.
so kind of like strength and skill damage are multiplicative. Marth is really good. Mars is really good. Multiplicative. Like,
Yeah.
I need more. Mars, please. Yeah.
I mean, plus you have like the Agito weapon in there, and Marth is just unstoppable on wind.
Yeah. And because of Mars breaking so much faster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's just
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, just everything that Flame can get. Like I know I said this for Azelith, but it's an even more extreme case for Marsh. Everything Flame has, Marth just uses better than everyone else. He's just so good. He's unstoppable. He's like, I know we're talking about Master Volk, but he's so good that he's viable on, like, of course you have to run with the right team, but a lot of the times it's only pre-made, but he can do any content.
He's got potent sunrise, right? Let's take him to twins.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean he does perform.
I
on
know
Twitch.
people already do that, right?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
It's the speeches.
You're
like,
seeing like
Marth?
13 seconds. I think was the
Yeah.
fastest I saw on Twitter.
Yeah.
Does
I
last
did.
boost activate if he dies outright?
No.
It does.
Yeah, like
Last
if you go
boost activates when you
0,
die.
last boost still happens.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like an anime, right? It's like the character dies and everyone else gets the friendship power up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Or your friend's downed, and then you're just ready to go ape shit. It just happens. So. Yeah.
And the thing,
he's-
like, being about 2 less boosts per Marth and not per quest, it's just so busted.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of
running
like
multiple
the zones were back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, okay, how long did it take them to catch up to Galacleo? Let's see. She released about this time last year, so at the end of July. And then what did it take until Dark Spirals?
Yeah. It took
So
till
what?
February.
7 months, give or take. 6 months. Yeah, 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. When did Marth get a spiral?
April.
April. So what do you think? Fire power creep is going to catch up with him by 2nd anniversary?
Maybe.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
I mean, they
doubt
really
it.
got to do something crazy. They're gonna need more spirals to catch him, is what it would be.
Let's see.
But the
who-
thing is like the problem with Marth, and this is probably comparative to Galacleo, is that the better the element gets, the better Marth will get, right?
Yeah.
Because Cleo is all percentages. Marth is just straight up like, hey, dude, I got hurt. I played badly, right? Or I controlled the amount of damage that I'm taking because I know how much the boss deals, right?
Mhm.
Here's all your skills fully filled. I don't care the SP cost.
Including skill shares.
Yeah,
yeah.
You have like absolute numbers, and then you have percentages. And like Galacleo and Marth both work heavily in percentages, like 100% skill gauge fill for 100% of your skills.
Right.
And like 30% attack rate is a percentage, 10% strength is a percentage.
Right.
And then
right.
burn like has a percentage chance to inflict. Like
Right. But
so even though he has his own damage mods that might be power crept, his team utility will stay.
Yeah.
I think the big kicker, right, for Marth's kit in total is not necessarily the fact that he has the ability to fill everyone's skills. It's that the player has the control and the decision when to activate it.
Yeah.
I mean, simply taking damage is very, very easy to do. You just don't dodge. I mean, straight up.
Yeah.
Like, and then if you need to change how much damage you're going to take, you either change your prince, you change your dragon, you change your weapon. I mean, at some point in time, it's like, if I'm not in this element, right, does it matter what my Marth is using, right? Or if I am an Involk, the current might for Marth is just like simply a swipe.
Yeah.
Right. One swipe is enough to bring him down, to last boost everyone.
and he can get himself out of less boost range, like to get above 20% again.
Well, yeah.
On his own
Yeah,
because of
with his skill.
Twin Flames. Yeah.
That's
Not
a
to
good
mention-
point. That's a good point.
Yeah, not to mention Yue's skill put him can get him at full HP, and reduces the defense, so getting a low HP again is easier.
Right, right. I think a
Marth
final
is-
note on it too is burn and poison will bring
Yeah.
Marth to 1, and that will always trigger his last boost.
Yeah,
So
Marth is just so good.
yeah, I can really only see Marth getting better. And if you have him and you have not spiraled him, you should just
Yeah.
do it. Anyone
Like
listening about
I
it?
really do.
I mean, they could go the Galaxy route and make a unit that just out DPSs all
Right.
of the possible things he could add. But then again, Gala Cleo can still out damage Gala Alex sometimes.
Right,
So,
right. So
yeah, I see him being up there for quite some time to come.
Mhm. Another thing I wanted to talk about Marth is even if he somehow gets power crept, the last boost is still valuable. So like, even if we get a better hybrid of support and personal damage, the last boost will still be really strong. I can't see them making another character with less boost or something similar.
But what about a Gala Dragon with infinite last boost?
you just transform
Right.
into a massive Marth floaty.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I can't. Marth is kind of future-proof, which makes him a safer investment too. So like, not only he's the best, but I think he'll be the best for a long time.
Yeah, he's definitely a very strong unit.
Yeah.
Especially when the fact that last boost is not limited to any skill in particular.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
or limited SP cost, right? So
Mhm.
the only way in which I could see Marth getting limitations is for very powerful skills in the future to have a clause that states the only way this skill can be charged is through self SP gain,
Yeah.
right? Or something
Which
to that
is-
effect.
Yeah, which I honestly can see that happening so soon.
Right, right. So, I don't know. It is what it is. Then Lace, did you have any closing thoughts on Marth that you wanted to
I
mention?
just think it's really cool. We got some Smash Bros representation in Dragalia Lost.
Yes, especially in Flame with Mega Man, Chrom, Marth. Soon we'll have Mario,
Yeah.
Sonic collab,
Zelda,
Cursed. Ooh, Zelda would be very nice.
Kirby.
Pokemon.
Yeah. Soon, Charizard transform, please.
What? No, Charizard's not a dragon.
That would be pain. You're right. He would just be a
Mr. Game and
flame
Watch.
worm. So, fire flying. Pain.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Alright. But yeah, that does it then for the Flame tier list. Guys, thank you so much if you've made it this far in the video, or if you've clicked to the end to see what the list is. Shame on you. Definitely go back and take a look. If you argue with us on the comments, you're definitely going to have to hear what we had to say. But I definitely think this one was a little more of a controversial pick based on how the pub metas have gone there. A little tighter. I'd say that Master Volk is probably one of the tighter pub metas that we've experienced recently. So, yeah. That being said, of course, special thanks to my boys here for sitting through this and chatting about the Flame units with me. Special thanks to Lorart, obviously, and special thanks to Straight Lace. Guys, if you might want to go ahead and plug anything that you want to say before we sign off. Lorart, anything that you want people to follow, to shout out to, anything in particular?
Yeah, again, as always, follow me on Twitter. Maybe Reddit, I guess. I don't know. I don't use a lot of Reddit, but yeah, follow me on Twitter. And yeah.
Definitely, yeah. You've had some fire posts, so I definitely am following myself, if that's any consolation.
Yeah, thank
And of course, thanks again, Straight Lace, for being featured on the channel. Anything that you'd like to say to the viewers?
Yeah, I am Straight Lace. I have my own channel here on the website of YouTube where I do my own Dragalia content. I don't do anything like fancy or, helpful in a common sense. Like I do fun character spotlights and I focus more on entertainment using Dragalia Lost as kind of a medium for it. So I do like character spotlights, musicals. I like to dive into the lore and see what that's about. So you can find me over there.
Yeah. Guys, thanks again so much. If you like the video, definitely drop a like, comment about the tier list. Definitely looking to generate a discussion. Go ahead, follow Lerart on Twitter. Subscribe to Straight Lace 100%. His content's awesome. And definitely, if you like the tier list, subscribe for more. We'll be posting them on a much more regular basis. And we've got Shadow to take a look at for Master Kai when that drops. And of course, lastly, join the Discord. As I stated in the first part, definitely join our Discord. We'll have the completed tier list and any subsequent updated tier lists as they appear in the future. Thanks again so much for watching, guys. Take care.